Hello everyone, this is Andrew McNair from SWAN Capital with our Educational Informational Economic Update for January 2018. In this month's video, I'm going to be discussing some major headlines that influence markets in December. And I'm also going to be providing some insight into what these developments might mean for you as an investor. Now, as always, please stay tuned at the end for a required disclosure statement. So as 2017 came to a close, U.S. markets slipped just a little bit from their market highs for the year. In the last week of December, all three major domestic indexes posted losses. Despite this little dip, the S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ were each in positive territory for the month and achieved a number of records for the year. In fact, December marked the 9th month in a row that the S&P 500 and Dow recorded gains. The S&P 500 hadn't seen a string of performances like this since 1983. The Dow also in an unusual stretch. This consecutive month run hasn't been seen since 1959. The NASDAQ also experienced a noteworthy gains. In 2017, the index rose in all but 1 month for the first time ever. Overall, each index posted double-digit gains. The S&P 500 at 19%, the Dow at 25%, and the NASDAQ at 28%. Probably the biggest economic event occurred in December was the passing of the largest tax reform in over 3 decades. At the start of 2018, many changes are already in effect. The corporate tax rate has now dropped from 35% to 21%. The standard deduction is double what it was in 2017. In addition to these headline-grabbing changes, the tax bill includes provisions that may affect people's retirement choices, from IRAs to charitable donations. So generally speaking, the tax bill's supporters believe this will encourage business investment, like we're seeing with potential Apple-like companies, increasing hiring and contributing to wage growth. Detractors, though, warn that this is going to increase the federal deficit over $1 trillion. Time will tell exactly what the lasting effect these new laws have on individuals like ourselves or corporations or as the economy as a whole. But if you have any questions about your tax situation, we have a CPA that you can work alongside if you have any more questions about that. Now, of course, tax reform is a big deal, but it's not the only development we experienced in December. In fact, many signs point to an economy that continues to grow. The final reading of the third quarter gross domestic product, GDP, which basically indicates how the economy grew overall by 3.2% between July and September. Now, data suggests that the fourth quarter may have had similar growth as well, although we will have to wait to receive all these initial readings back. But here's what we do know, is that both existing and new home sales jumped in their most recent readings from November. New home sales grew faster than they have in 25 years. Consumer spending also grew in November, increasing far more than analysts ever expected. Now, while measures of consumer confidence did slip from the huge 17-year high that we saw in November, they still stayed in high margins in December. Now, if we look at the Federal Reserve, it seems to agree that the economy is strengthening. Last month, the Fed raised interest rates for the third time in 2017, pushing the benchmark rate from 1.25 to 1.5. It also increased the estimate of how quickly the economy could grow in 2018. Now, one soft spot among all this data is the value of the US dollar, which ended at its lowest levels in at least 3 months. Some analysts anticipate the dollar could struggle in 2018 as the Fed considers continuing to raise rates or other central banks potentially following suit in raising rates. Now, while the economy is not perfect, overall December gave us a lot of good news to round out the year with the many record highs that we saw in the market. Now, we are looking forward to seeing what's in store for 2018, and we're going to continue sharing our perspectives along the way. Now, stay tuned for next month's video update where we'll discuss more of the annual data as it comes in. Now, that's it for this month's Educational Economic Update. Now, we do have a couple client events, so stay tuned as they come to your doorstep. Once again, this is Andrew McNair from SWAN Capital signing off for the month of January 2018.